Domino's Pizza in Bellevue, and Regal Cinemas here in Ocala for today.
All right. And I think Galen's on the phone right now. Hey, is that you, Galen?
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you?
Yeah, good. We figured you were taking the day off, so we were just filling in for
No. It's fine.
whatever you did. The phone sounds so much better today. It's the same phone, right?
Well, it's the same phone. I'm just back to my old headset. So.
Oh, gosh, it's amazing what a difference that makes, huh?
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's crystal clear today. Well, good. Okay, I'm glad. So everything all right?
Yeah. I just I'm at work and I didn't realize the time.
Oh, okay. So you heard that Aretha Franklin passed away, right?
I did. Sure did. Yeah.
So she is listed as one of the top 20 musical acts people regret not going to have seen live.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll bet.
So I want
yeah, there's no doubt about that.
So I want to go through that list with you. I don't know if this is something you can. It's I don't know
relate
if it's up your alley or not. I mean, but so we'll do this one. But anyway, so we didn't know. Robin was able to tell where the buses were, but can you tell us how the blood supply is? How's that?
Yeah, we're kind of where we've been, right at a 3-day blood supply, and the bottom line is we just need more people to get out there, give the gift of life, to donate blood. And again, as Robin said, we've got a lot of locations out there this weekend. So please just stop by, see us, come by the center at East 1607 Silver Springs Boulevard, and we'd love to have you.
Yeah, go donate blood.
Yeah.
And thank you, Palm Garden of Ocala and Penn Flooring, for sponsoring that segment that Galen just did right there. That little bit of time it takes to give us that little nudge to go donate blood is so important, because without that, we might not. If you're honest with yourself. I mean, if you would without that, then good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I need a nudge here and there, so it's always good.
We all do.
Do you know what is a nudge, though, in addition to the fact that you say that, is just seeing the bloodmobile?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we make it stand out as much as possible.
But I mean, just knowing knowing it's there, and also seeing the person. I know that it's almost a thankless job to be the one standing at the door here at the mall asking people if they'd like to donate blood. But to tell you the truth, it's a big reminder. It's a great reminder.
I think so.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an ingenious stroke for public relations for you guys that you do that.
For sure.
It's almost necessary, but at the same time, the rest of us can learn from something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've screwed up a lot, and it's taken over 47 years. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but we have learned the one thing we need to do is make all of our bloodmobiles look the same. And you would think that would be a given, but we didn't start doing that until about 10 years ago. So up until then, each area had different buses, and they're all designed differently and look nothing like one another. And so that's something we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like playing on a team. Everybody has to be recognizable for that team.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
Palm Garden.
Makes sense now. It didn't make sense up until about 10 years ago.
Is that right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, real quickly, go take a tour of Palm Garden. You don't have to take a quick tour. I mean, I just want to get this out real quickly. Just take a tour of Palm Garden, ask questions, and you will see that this is a great place to go if you're needing health or rehabilitative needs that are met in a professional environment, a skilled nursing environment. Penn Flooring, also professionals. They know what they're doing when it comes to flooring. They know the product to sell has to be top quality. They know putting it in has to be absolutely perfect. And they know that you have to be happy as a customer. So go over there and get some new flooring, make your home or office more beautiful from the floor up. They're at 1201 Southwest 17th Street. All right, so before we talk about the 20 musical acts that we wish we could have seen, first of all, seen live. First of all, some of these people are still alive and some of them still perform. So I'm not really exactly sure. I'm not really exactly sure. But there's another part of this that I wanted to ask you about, because you're younger and because you grew up in the South. And Robin grew up in a different part of the North. So maybe there's 3 different experiences here. So I want to tell you mine, and you'll see where I'm going with this. And it starts with the racial divide or the racial thing, whatever it is, because I don't remember experiencing a racial divide. But then again, I was in like an all-white neighborhood, so it kind of, you didn't have much of that. But I was a big music lover. And so I'd go to the record store, and I honestly didn't know one label from the next. But I started noticing that music that was on the Motown label was a certain sound, right? They had a certain sound on that label, which you could not say for Columbia or A&M or what else was out at that time? RCA Records. Yeah, you couldn't say it, but Motown had its own sound. And then later on, I figured out what it was, and I figured out that all those artists were performing at a theater in Harlem called the Apollo. Mm-hmm. And it was just a train ride, Galen. I could have gone there no problem. And I probably could have even broken the rules and done it, but I was, there's certain parts of the city you were told, they don't go there. If you're going into, I know you're not supposed to go into the city, but if you do, don't go there. And there was a couple of them down the village also. It wasn't just Harlem. There was a few places I couldn't go. The Lower East Side, which I go to all the time now. So, but other things changed. So did that happen for you, like here in Florida? And also you were like 20 years after us, I think. Did you have that, like at your high school dances, for example? Did you have like black bands or white bands? Did they not have a mixed lineup like today? There is no. Well, there still are completely one race bands. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but do you know what I mean? Back in the high school days, when the bands played the high school, what did the demographics of the band look like?
Well, we never had live band.
Oh, really?
I mean, no. I mean, they just played at a DJ who played music. I mean, I can't remember a single time in which we had a live band, and if we did, it would have probably been somebody local. I mean, I went to Forest High School, and I graduated from there in 1988. It's not like we're the bastion of culture here.
So that might have been a sign of the times more than the location.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you mean by that?
In the 80s, I think maybe that was probably happening in New York too. They were probably using DJs. I'm thinking in the 60s or early 70s, they probably had bands playing at Forest High School. I'm thinking, I don't know.
I'll have to ask my brother because he went to Forest.
Oh, okay. And what about the demographics of the school itself? Was it predominantly white, or was it mixed like it is today? Or
I mean, it's like it is today. I mean, I don't think the demographics of Ocala have changed that much. I mean, segregation by then it was gone. It was more for me in elementary schools when you really start to see it for me. So, for example, my sister, who's 5 years older than me, was bused because they thought she was white over to N.H. Jones. Even though we lived in the exact same house, she went to a completely different elementary school than I did.
Wow!
I went to Highlands. Yeah. But she was considered white, and so they needed more, a different ethnic mix, and so she was bused over to N.H. Jones.
What a shame!
In 1973, I think, is when she started at N.H. Jones.
Wow.
So, but again, that's just the sign of the times. And then by the time, I was one of the first, not the first, but one of the only people of color at Highlands Elementary School when I started there in kindergarten.
Oh, wow, really?
And then you could see it, and then, it just got more. It's just more of a people moving into the area and things like that than anything else.
So what made you aware of that at that young age? Was it the other kids? Was it the adults? Like, how do you even...
What do you mean? That they're...
I never even knew I was a tall kid until I went to school. All of a sudden, everybody said, "Oh, you're so tall." And I actually remember going through this thinking, oh, is there something different about me? I didn't realize.
Wow.
I mean, is that what happened for you?
No. I mean, my neighbor, I was the only person who looked like me, in the whole town. I mean, it wasn't, and nobody looked like my mom, right? A lot of people looked like my father, but nobody looked like my mom. And because back then there weren't even any real Latinos or Cubans hadn't really come into the area. And then when the Cubans came in the late 70s, early 80s, it kind of changed. And then people thought we were Cuban. But, I never looked like my friend down the street. So, or anything like that. Anybody I played with was was either black or white. There wasn't anybody in the middle.
Is that right? So the one thing, and just trying to steer it in the direction of the artists we wish we could have seen, but I think music and sports were the two things, and I don't ever hear anybody saying this, but I think music and sports were the two things more so than movies and TV, because movies and TV were still very much controlled by corporations. But music and sports, in sports, you had in your best interest, you were going to get the best player regardless of race. And same thing in music, you would get the best player regardless of race. The guy who could play guitar best got the job.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter.
Well, I'm gonna disagree a little bit, and I think what changed our society and made it a much more open and much more accepting of people of color was the military, because you got to remember the military desegregated 30 years before the rest of the country did, and the military is if you're going to look at where races and cultures and everything kind of coalesce into a solid group, it's the military, and the military drives that more than sports. I think sports is a good example now. I think music is a good example now. But think about it this way: how many bands are multicultural now? Even.
But the audience, well, yeah, maybe you're right. The audience is.
No, not the audience. Not the
I know.
audience.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Or like, okay, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, you look at somebody like Ray Charles, who was banned from playing in the state of Georgia until something in the 80s or 90s.
Holy cow! I didn't know that.
I mean, there was all kinds of things like that. So, no, I think racism is very, very profound in music. Not as much now, but back in the day.
Okay. But see, I remember in the 70s, I worked at the Nassau Coliseum. Earth, Wind, and Fire came into play, and it was, 90% white at least in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were clearly fans of this band that was completely black, and I
love that band.
But it was the music. Yeah, it was the music.
Mm-hmm.
I helped them set up. I didn't even know I was helping them.
Mm-hmm. Gosh.
One of the guys
but it's an all black band.
Yeah.
So they themselves weren't integrated. And then the audience was all into disco at the time, and that disco was a predominantly white, suburban hit, and so that's why it makes sense to me.
Bee Gees.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
They became the mainstream, right? They became what you consider pop.
All right, so let's see if you can relate to any of these. These are the top 20. This is according to an article I had online. I can't remember where it was from. I almost want to say Godvine. I was on the website Godvine this morning.
Oh.
They were playing, they had songs from Aretha Franklin. They were saying Aretha Franklin. Yeah, it was. They were saying that Aretha Franklin shows up at number 7, which I'm looking at the list here, on the list of bands or acts that people wish they could have seen live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So number 20 is Nat King Cole.
Yeah, he would have been wonderful. Easy going.
Number 19 is ABBA.
Mm-hmm.
They're still alive, by the way.
Yeah, but they're fun.
Number 18, still alive, Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe people just want to see him like in his heyday. Number 17, Beach Boys. I saw the Beach Boys in Gainesville. Number 16 is Led Zeppelin.
Oh my!
I wouldn't want to go see Led Zeppelin.
I guess they're still alive, right? Or did one of them die? One of them died.
One
right?
of them died, I think.
Sinatra is 15.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Gaye is 14.
Mm-hmm.
The Ramones. Boy, that's a switch from Marvin Gaye to the Ramones. Ramones are 13.
Did you see that?
I wouldn't want to see the Ramones.
I've never seen the Ramones.
Oh.
No. We spoke to the lady who was one of their wives or something. Remember?
Yeah.
She wrote a book
about Joey Ramone. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was with him.
I can't believe that this is even on here. Leonard Cohen is number 12.
Well, he hasn't really gained, he's been popular, but I think it was only in the last 3 years before he died that people were warming up to him. I mean, different people.
Seems like it, yeah.
Because of that one song.
Right. Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's it. And they misinterpreted the song when they cover it.
The Velvet Underground is 11. Do you even know that band, Galen?
I don't know. Idea.
Do you?
I haven't known the last two. I haven't known. So.
Oh, you don't know Leonard Cohen?
No.
Yes, you do. You know that song, Hallelujah? Hallelujah.
Yeah, it was sung by one of the Beatles.
No, no. I can't remember who made it popular. I mean, he's the one who wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And his version was popular, sort of, kind of, but yeah, there's some more current guys that made it more popular. Anyway,
have you seen the Velvet Underground? I don't know what
you
that
know what?
is.
I remember them, but I'm just drawing a blank.
Are they from New York?
I don't remember.
I have to look them up. I don't know them.
All right, number 10 is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
They played at Summerfest. They were great.
And I saw them live. Jefferson Airplane is number 9. This must be a San Francisco list, huh?
Well, that's Grace Slick, right? Jefferson Airplane, the first one. Grace Slick and what? Mickey Thomas?
He wasn't.
He was with Starship then.
Right.
Okay, but Grace Slick was Jefferson Airplane.
Paul Kantner.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Talking Heads, Galen, number 8. You might know that band.
Sure, of course I know the top. Well, you could probably still go see the Talking Heads.
That's what I'm thinking too. Around Aretha Franklin, there she is, number 7. Freddie Mercury is number 6. Oh my gosh. Do you wish you could have seen him live, Galen? Freddie Mercury?
That's interesting. I think the performance would have been. I think in today, what he could have done today would have been awe-inspiring. I think he was limited by the technology that surrounded him. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Actually, what you're saying makes sense, but it also is a testament to the fact that he used the technology he had and did some pretty amazing stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Queen, like in, say, 84? No, that would have been too late. 83, 84. Yeah. The We Will Rock You tour. That album, which I can't remember the name of, but that would have been great.
And Brian May, by the way, was the guitar player. There is no guitar player who sounds like Brian May. He's got his own sound. Just one of the great guitar players. Let's see, Prince, number 5. People wish they could have seen Prince.
I could see that.
Oh gosh, yes.
Again, back in the 80s. I don't want to see the 90s Prince.
Really?
I think it changed. I like the 80s Prince. But
David Bowie is number 4.
No, I think it would have been kind of boring in concert.
I wasn't a big fan of Bowie, to be honest with you.
I'm not either. I'm just not.
There's a couple songs
I think
I like.
His best song is with Queen. So
he sang with Queen?
What song was that? What did he do with Queen?
Yeah, what is it? The Under Pressure.
Oh, wait a minute.
Didn't he do that with Queen?
No. Did he?
I thought he did.
I thought.
He did it with Queen.
I think Under Pressure is the song that Vanilla Ice took and made a rap song out of.
He did. That's correct. But Under Pressure, he performed with Queen.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're right. Number 3 is the Beatles.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wish I could have seen the Beatles live, just for the historic part of it.
I would have been all right. I would have been all right without it.
I'm going to tell you number 1. And then you're never going to guess number 2. Number 1 is Jackson 5. I can understand that.
Why? I would have really. Why not? To see Michael at that age.
Oh no, I'm with you. I agree. I don't disagree with this list on that. Well, that one I don't disagree.
Yeah.
No,
and I never saw Michael performing when he was older. But everybody who went to his concerts. Everybody will come out saying that's the best concert I've ever seen.
Yeah. So you misunderstood what I said. I said I'm skipping number 2 because you're never going to believe who is at number 2. Number 1 is Jackson 5. I haven't told you who is at number 2.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because if you look at this list of all these names, right? Well, Sinatra's on the list, so number 2 might not surprise you.
Oh, well then that's a hint, right?
That's a hint.
Is it Tony Bennett?
It's a woman.
Oh, it's a woman.
And I'll just
Nancy Wilson.
You're never gonna. It's Judy Garland.
Oh,
the number.
Why would I want to see her?
Well, number 2 most answered that, and that's why I'm thinking this might be a San Francisco survey or something.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't performed since I've been born.
Okay,
well,
but
she died.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, I know. Didn't she die in the 60s or something?
She's been gone a while.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm thinking this might be San Francisco, because there's a lot of guys who dress up like Judy Garland. And
They do?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Are these the same people that you hang out with at Fantasy Fest?
No, the other side of the country. These are the people that hang out with the two friends that I have that moved out to San Francisco.
You got to admit, that was a good line.
I've seen her in her TV show, of course, when I was younger, and it was in black and white, and in her specials, and she was phenomenal, especially when she did that one song dressed up as a hobo. I mean, she was just so into the people. She would sit on the side of the stage and be with the people. She was like touchable, she was great.
See, Robin is kind of expressing what these people must be thinking.
She was great.
I'm with you, Galen. I never added this.
Didn't Elvis do the same thing? I mean,
how is he not on the list? Yeah. How is Elvis not on the list?
I guess because everybody who wanted to see Elvis saw Elvis because he was toured his whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talking
Heads still perform, and they're on the list, and Elvis is not on the list.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You know what? I will tell you, there's one band that, and this is weird, but I'd really like to go see, mostly because my wife would love me for the rest of her life, for sure, would be Duran Duran.
Really?
They still perform occasionally.
Oh, my gosh, Duran Duran.
Well, we're going to have to find out where they're performing at.
Well, they're performing, and I can't remember where.
Can you give me
performing at some Caribbean? I think they're performing in like the Cayman Islands or something in 2019. And,
oh, really?
And my wife's like, "Why don't we go there?" I'm like,
There you go, Galen. 2019, you're going to be in the Caribbean with your wife, seeing Duran Duran.
Can I give you an earbug? What do you call it?
Earworm.
Earworm?
Yeah.
They call her Rio. Is that song in your head now?
Dance is on the stand. And I will tell you this: the 12-inch version of Rio is great. I love it.
It's in your head
like
now.
A wolf, the video, but so for me, their videos were just incredible. When I was growing up on MTV, I mean, when Duran Duran had a new video, the song could just be the worst thing of all time. But the video was going to be full of hot chicks in some remote location,
Yes.
wearing funky makeup, and I was in on one of them. When you're 16, when you're 15, you're gonna watch it because of the hot chicks.
Wow. You were in there. Cool.
So you were actually in the video?
No, I was in there as in watching it.
I see.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay.
Ever in a Duran Duran video? I would be like on my resume.
I
would open every conversation with like, "Look, I've been in a Duran video."
I thought maybe your cousin got you in. I thought maybe she got you in.
No, that would be like Dan introducing himself as saying, I was in Patch Adams.
And he was.
I tell him all the time. I know. I tell him all the time. I'm like, you need to lead with that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
All right. Hey, have a great weekend, Galen. Where's the Bloodmobile? Oh, Robin already told you. Want to tell us again?
Yeah, we're out in Williston. So we're out of Williston. We're right there at their square. So everybody in Williston knows where it is.
Nice.
All right.
That's a nice town.
Enjoy your weekend. Make some plans to go see Duran Duran down in wherever.
Not going to happen.
Because they're going to do this song.
The Cayman. I know they will. Like you're the best. All right.
Here it comes, Galen. Come on. We hear you sing. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Your name is Rio, and she dances on the sand. Just like that river. I will tell you this, though. Duran Duran has one of the best Bond covers of all time. I love their cover. Horrible movie they covered it for, but they have a great Bond song.
Oh, my gosh. Put Duran Duran on this. Oh, Duran Duran still plays live, so they wouldn't be on the list. All right. Hey, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday.
All right. Be good, y'all.
Thank you for what you do. We'll be right back.
I've seen you on the beach.
On this Friday, a partly sunny day. It'll be very warm and humid with a high of 89 at the coast, 94 inland. Partly cloudy Friday night, low 72 to 76. Saturday, partly